Hello friends, welcome to our channel. In this video, we will be understanding what is the XML file, its features, its syntax with example, where and how we can use it. So let's see in detail. XML. XML stands for Extensible Markup Language, is a markup language that is used for encoding documents in a format that is both human readable and machine readable. It is a flexible format that can be used to create a wide variety of documents, including web pages, configuration file, and much more. Some of the key features of XML, which includes it uses a self-describing format, which means that the structure of the document is defined using tags and attributes. It is extensible, which means that new tags and attributes can be defined as needed. It is designed to be platform independent, which means that documents can be exchanged between different systems without the need for conversion. It is often used in conjunction with other technologies such as XSL, Extensible Stylesheet Language, and XSLT, XSL transformation to transform and display XML document in different formats. Now we will see the syntax that we follow in order to write an XML file. The first line that we can see is an XML prologue, which suggests the version and the encoding technique which is being used in an XML file. It is an optional, but it is used in order to debug and to find out the errors in it. Next thing is that we have to mention the root tag, which is very important. It should be there in your XML file, or else it will give us an error. Then in this root file there should be a child tag, and in the child tag we can also mention the number of subchilds as we want. To each and every tag, what we can do is that we can also mention our own attribute with its value. Root, child, subchild, attribute name we can give as the data that we are storing in that particular file as per our convenience. It is not necessary that we have to give the predefined tag name as we used to do in an HTML. We can use our own tag name that will help us in understanding the data that is being stored in that particular tag. This is the opening tag, this is the closing tag. Similarly, as we used to do in an HTML tag, suppose that if we are using a bold tag, and whatever the content that we will be writing in a bold, start tag and end tag will be bold, will be displayed bold in an HTML file. Similarly, the root is the main tag, and the end tag of the root tag is there, and whatever the data that we want to place, we have to place in it. Each child tag is what the particular data that we are carrying. Like in a table, that if we are having a row, the child is just a row, and the attributes in each row is nothing but the subchild in this particular case. We should always remember that whatever the value which is there in this attribute has to be enclosed in double inverted commas. The elements which we are mentioning has to be properly nested. Like first it is root, then child has to be open and closed properly. Then in child, if there is a subchild, the subchild should be open and closed down properly. Suppose that if we want to use any kind of symbol like less than symbol or greater than symbol as a data in between the tag, we can't use it. And if we want to use it, then we have to use its symbolic representation as we used to do in an HTML. Suppose that in a data we are using a white space, so that white space will be considered as it is not considered in an HTML. It will not be done over here. The white space that we are leaving, it should be considered. whatever the tags that we are using, it's case sensitive. Suppose that in the opening tag we are using some capital letters, so same has to be used in an end tag. If you are using or changing the case of a particular letter, then it will be giving us an error. Okay, let's see the example of an XML file. So it's a simple example of a library, and what we will be doing is that in the library there are number of books. So that number of books data is being maintained in a form of an XML file. So as you can see in this example, first one is what a prologue, where it is mentioning the version that we are using and the encoding techniques that we are using. The library is the root tag in this case, and the book is the child tag which we are using, that will suggest that it is a book data that we are storing in this XML file. So for each child tag, like over here the book opening tag is there and the book ending tag is there, so it will represent a single book data. As in a case of a relational database, there are tables and each row represents a single record, as it will be in the case of an relational database. The library will be the name of that particular database and book will be the name of a table, and each row in that particular book table will be the data of a single book. Similarly, a book start tag, end tag, and in that we are storing a book title, that is what the title of the first book, and the author name of that particular book. So this is what the record of a first book. Similarly, the second book record is mentioned over here, which is title and author, and the third book data is also mentioned, which is title and author. At any particular time we can insert the new record in this particular library XML file that we have created, and if we want to remove the data, we can remove that particular data. Now the next and the most important thing is that we need to understand the uses of an XML file. The uses of an XML file, there are basically three main uses of an XML file. First one is what? Web pages. XML can be used to define the structure and the content of web page. XHTML, Extensible Hypertext Markup Language, is a version of an HTML that is based on XML and can be used to create a web pages that are both human readable and machine readable. The next use of an XML file is a configuration file. XML file can be used as a configuration file, and it is being used while creating a mobile application. Each and every mobile application will be having its own configuration file, and that configuration file has to be written in an XML file. Similarly, if we are making a web application, the web application will also be having its own XML file, and that is nothing but a configuration file for that particular web application. So it can be used as a configuration file, which is easy to read and write. Because of a self-describing format, it is easy to understand the structure and the purpose of the configuration file. Okay, the next use is data exchange. Most of the time, earlier, as compared to the our normal relational data type, XML file is used to transfer the data because it transfers the data more quickly as compared to the data that we fetch from a relational database table. Okay, so XML can be used to exchange the data between different systems because it is platform independent. It can be used to send the data between systems that use different operating system, programming language, and data formats. Okay, thank you for watching this video. For more such videos, stay connected with us. In our next video, we will be seeing how a XML file can be used in designing an Android application. Thank you.